The guy in my backyard. Last night I was jolted awake by a strange noise outside my window. I hesitated, feeling a chill that seemed to creep in from somewhere beyond the glass. After a moment, I cautiously peeked through the curtains, expecting to see nothing. But there, standing just on the edge of my backyard, was a tall figure, half-shrouded in darkness. He wore a wide-brimmed hat that cast a long shadow over his face, but I could see his eyes, pale, almost glowing, and fixed directly on me. I closed the curtains quickly, heart pounding. I told myself it was nothing, maybe a trick of the light or a stray passerby. But when I peeked out again a few minutes later, he was still there, his figure unmoved. Hours passed, and the man never left. I barely slept, haunted by the unblinking gaze that seemed to pierce through the walls. The next night he was back, but this time he was closer, standing in the middle of the yard, head tilted slightly as if curious. His eyes were still fixed on my window. I called the police, explaining there was a man in my yard. They searched but found no one, though the officer glanced at me with a strange look, as if he knew something he wasn't saying. The following nights, he inched closer and closer. Every time I glanced out, he'd moved closer, his face obscured, but his eyes, those eyes, they seemed brighter, almost glowing now, filled with a dark hunger. Then, one night, I didn't have to look out to know he was near. I could feel it, an unnatural cold seeping into the house, into my room, pressing against my skin. The last night, I couldn't take it anymore. I swung open the door, stepping into the yard, gripping a flashlight in trembling hands. I called out to him, my voice quivering, asking what he wanted. The flashlight flickered, then died, plunging me into darkness. But as my eyes adjusted, I saw him standing inches from me. His face was wrong, too pale, stretched into a twisted grin, his eyes empty voids, and then he whispered my name. Now, each night, as the darkness settles in, I feel him closer, inside my home, watching me from just behind the shadows, and I know, without a doubt, that he will never leave.